Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kids of Podcast Show. Tonight's guest, I got a music artist from AZ, Arizona, y'all, locally right here from the backyard, homegrown. I got my brother from another, Lexaladar. He's in the building. Let's go. Yeah, everybody. Welcome to the Kids of Podcast Show. You got my guy right here. His name is Lexaladar. I got a musician in the house, locally, homegrown,
Yes, sir.
Arizona,
Hola.
representing y'all.
Hello.
Representing for the Latinos, okay?
Algo leve, compa.
What would you like to say to the community in Spanish here, introductory-wise?
Introductory-wise. Hola, buenas tardes. Yo me llamo Edson García, mejor conocido como Lexaladar. Hoy estoy aquí platicando con un amigo con el cual yo antes trabajaba y estoy muy agradecido por estar en su sexto episodio de su programa, de su podcast. También estoy agradecido con todos los que vean este episodio y muchas gracias por su atención y su tiempo.
Awesome. So, we're going to get right into it, all right? My guy right here, he has music on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, all your platforms, even what's it called? SoundCloud.
OG SoundCloud.
Okay.
SoundCloud.
Lexaladar is spelled Lexaladar.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, then let's get into it right away here with you. And welcome to the podcast show. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
Coming out a little bit. Me and Lex has been knowing each other for like several years. I want to say 5 or 6 years or so. And so, and I've been like a huge like supporter of his music as well and promoter of his music as well. He's been having some shows and things like that. And it's been like really awesome to hear him perform. But now we got him in the house and we're going to find out about, his culture, his background, what influenced his music and things like that. So let's start off, let everyone briefly where you from and how you transition here in Arizona and things like that.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, so, hello, everybody. My name's Edson, also known as Lexaladar, artist name, but Edson's my real name. Originally born in Mexico City, so, I think I've been in the U.S. since 2006 or so, like end of 2006, which is most of my life, I would say, but originally still born in Mexico, and I would say raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Mainly lived most of my life here besides that, and I would say just like the main Phoenix area that I was growing up in would be that like not near downtown, but like near the 43rd Avenue McDowell area, like more closer to Central. Originally, I would say I think fully.
Is that like the Maryville area close to it? Or?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
That's around there. It kind of where you went to that party.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah,
fairly
absolutely. All right. Hey, everybody knows locally what Maryville, the neighborhood is. That's definitely one of the neighborhoods.
One of them, bro. One of those.
Absolutely. That's really cool. And so throughout your journey in life, what was like, and who are, as far as you getting into music, how old were you when you first started? Who was the artists that influenced you? Like, was it, even if it was like family or whoever, like what influenced you to make the kind of music that you make?
Yeah, so straight into the meat and potatoes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so pretty much in my music, I don't think there are any musicians besides, technically speaking, my stepdad who plays drums. He's been playing drums almost his whole life. I know my mom was kind of into like singing and like kind of like the music vibe when she was younger, but this was in Mexico and she kind of didn't really like go through with it. She tells me sometimes that it was just, support and just transitions from leaving the country to here and just a lot of other stuff. But as far as my inspirations or my beginning journey, I would say I actually started my journey. The first thing that comes to my mind is the movie Step Up. And the reason that the movie Step Up comes to my mind is because I remember when I was a kid, I think I was in 6th grade, and I don't remember remember exactly what year it was, but I remember watching the movie and watching them, you know, like it was kind of that era of like dancing and everybody's, you know, getting hyped and stuff. And I just kind of wanted to learn how to break dance. That's like the most beginning like music entailed thing that like kick started off everything. And so Step Up, I don't remember if it was like 1, 2. I think it might have been, I think it wasn't 1. I think it was
How
like
many
2.
of those movies did they make?
I honestly don't
Right,
know.
man,
Probably
Step
like
Up,
6
wow.
or 7.
Yeah,
I could have sworn like a year ago they still came out with another one, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was like, I believe, did that come out in the era of like, you know, Save the Last Dance and stuff during that era, during that time, I want to say maybe?
I think so. I
Step
know
Up?
it was the movie with Moose in
Moose,
it.
okay, got you.
That's the one that like and then there's dancing and then there's like that era, that song vibe.
Right.
So yeah, that kickstarted off my journey into wanting to break dance. So ironically, as TikTok is probably on the verge of getting banned or whatever, I have a lot of not a lot, but I have quite a few videos on the platform when it was Musically, of when I was just like dancing, like literally just like dancing to like songs that were either remixes or like just, I don't know, Musically was very different, you know. But yeah, around that time started getting into breakdance, and I feel like now that I think about it, it was a way for me to connect with music. Like for me, dancing is a way to connect with the sound and just like feel it, embody it. Embody is the best thing I could think of. Like you just grab the feeling of particular sound and you dance to it, whether it's like a breakdance song, a robot song, a dubstep, bachata, cumbia, whatever. Like there's so many like dances to different types of music and styles of music and genres. But I feel like it's like the body's way of like capturing that frequency and like, you know, just like going with it. Like even animals have been seen dancing before, you know?
Wow. Okay.
So it's powerful. It's a powerful thing. And I think that's when I don't know. I feel like that's where I like latched onto something that I was like, oof, this, I don't know what this is, but this feels good and I like it. So
okay, so then like, you know, share with us like your first experience as far as like your first song you made, like your first concept. Like what was that like? Walk us through that.
Yeah,
that.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
So my first song is actually my first song that I ever made is called Heaven. It might actually still be on my SoundCloud, and it's kind of like an indie rock type song.
Okay.
I think, let's see, this was 2000, maybe 17-ish, maybe 16, something like that. But yeah, technically speaking, before I wrote that song, before I actually made music, I remember I told my friend, I have a friend who I told that I wanted to make music. I was like, I want to make a song, bro. And then he reminds me of this, that I told him. He's like, yeah, I remember you told me, and then you just went home and made a song on like GarageBand or something. I think on an iPad or on an old MacBook. Like,
wow.
I think it was one of those MacBooks with the Apple that lights up in the back.
Oh, that's the OG ones. I used to call those like the interracial MacBooks, the white one and the black one.
Yeah, yeah, the interracial MacBooks, exactly. I had the white one.
I had the white one too, so just saying.
Oh, okay. So we're on the same page. But yeah, I made that song, and it was inspired a little bit by like maybe self-story, like emotions that I was just going through as a kid, more teenager vibes. And I just found a beat online that was free, and I just kind of wrote to it, and I tried to execute as best as I could. It wasn't too complicated, to be honest. But before that, technically speaking, I developed a habit of writing, and I don't know why, but like I remember just writing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 pages of just words of like feelings and emotions of like if I was going through a hard time in my life, or if I was on the verge of discovering something about myself, or if I was just like, I don't know, in some sort of rut. Like I just had this tendency of like writing at some point, and I don't even know why I developed it. I think so. I've been seeing a lot of vision boards this year, a lot of vision boards, and we're getting together for my vision board. I think they're actually a good thing.
Yeah.
But, somewhere out there, I don't know if on Facebook, Instagram, but somewhere out there, I did write like this page or 2 pages, 3 pages, and it was kind of, I think, like a letter to myself in the present moment, and kind of addressed towards me in the present moment, but also towards my future. And I remember writing just things about like, I was just like, I refuse, like stuff like, I refuse to lose. I refuse to like give into like, worldly like distractions. And, I have goals, and I want like just writing. And I might have been irritated. I might have just been, you can call it hormonal imbalance, teenager, whatever you can call it. But like, I feel like it was a moment of self-discovery maybe. And my best idea at the time was to write, be beyond the dancing, because the dancing was just something that I think I did for fun. I genuinely liked it. And I wanted, like, when I saw those Step Up movies, I was like, yo, they cooking, bro. They going in, bro. Like, I'm trying to dance like that. Like, like no one just bust out those type of moves, you know? So I just really got into like that vibe. And with that habit, one day, just, I don't know, I was like, I think I want to make a song. But all that being said, the reason I feel like I made a song, not the full reason, but part of the reason was because when I used to dance, I would listen to like a song, right? And like I said, like the one that comes to mind, I think it's called Beggin'. It's called Beggin' by Matt something or whatever. Okay. It's called Beggin'. I'm begging, you know?
Right.
So it's that like breakdown song. And when I used to freestyle to music, like freestyle in terms of like dance freestyle, like I wouldn't know the song too much, or I would know it like one, but then I would just like dance to it, do the wave and, start tutting and break dance and all that stuff. I remember sometimes certain songs would come to like the drop and it wouldn't hit exactly how I would want it to. I'd be like, ooh, that hit is nice, but I wish it did this.
Right.
And that kept happening in not many songs, but various songs. And I was like, well, why don't I just make a song and make it when the drop happens, it drops exactly how I want. And I think Heaven was just like my first attempt at just a song in general. And I owned the beat. I owned like whatever it is I was trying to get out. Not my best work, but I was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
like, just throw it out there,
Exactly. I feel like that as an artist also. That those of you don't know, hey, look, I'm an artist too now. You know what I mean? So, and I make some music, kids are KZA, you know what I mean? But I know what it means because, you can make a song, man, and like at least you took the step forward. You know what I'm saying? It was better that you just went out there and tried it and bet on yourself. Did not even put out the song Heaven at all, even try it at all. So, I mean, everybody has to start from somewhere as an artist, One of the really good songs I like from you, and I want to make sure I pronounce right, start with an A, right? Like, how you say that word?
There's two, alienado or arrebasando. Arrebasando.
Yes.
I got you.
That one. That was really, really good. That has really good guitar. Did you play the guitar on that one?
No.
Okay.
Not that one. That one.
All right.
I was lucky enough to find that be on YouTube for free.
Okay.
I can kind of play it now, but not all the crazy arrangements just yet. Not yet.
No worries. What was like the story behind that one? Is that such a good song? And it's on Apple Music, correct?
Apple Music, all platforms.
All platforms on that one.
Arrebasando,
Yeah, so you guys better check that one out. But what's the story about that song here?
So arrebasando is the word arrebasando stands technically for like surpassing. Arrebasando in Spanish is like literally like surpassing. So like in an example of that word being used would be like, let's say you're driving, right? Like with your mom or someone in the car, and then like a car's next to your right or left, whatever. If your mom or your friend says arrebásalo, right? Like it means surpass him. It means like just like pass him by, pass by him, and get in front, or because like let's say not on some like mean stuff, just on
not even.
We gotta turn right, like arrebasa este carro, right? Like like get in front of him so he can go on the right lane and turn right. So that's technically what the word means. Arrebasando came about because, again, I found the beat on YouTube for free, and I don't know, I just liked it, to be honest. And when I was like at the time when I was coming up with the lyrics, the biggest thing that I remember was like I felt in a place where like I was gaining this momentum of being of being able and of my ability to make music speeding up. And what that means is like
Okay.
even right now, like I feel like one of the easiest things for me right now, currently, is just coming up with the idea, like like the words, and like the sounds and like how it all goes together. Like that to me is like the easiest part. Hardest part is like execution, right? Like, can I play the guitar how I want? Can I find someone that did? Can I find someone that does? Can I get them to record? And then mixing and mastering, like all those extra steps are like the execution. It's like longer and harder for me than it is just to like come with the idea. Like I'll hear the sound in my head, I already know what I want.
Right.
So that song came about because at the time I just felt like I had already made rock sounds. I had already made like EDM sounds. I had
Right.
already made electronic music, Spanish and English, rap, boom bap rap. Like I had made so many like sounds that I feel like some were just responding really well, some more than others, just out of strengths. But that song just came about because I was like, I feel like this shit's easy, bruh.
Right.
Fuck it. Like
Exactly.
that type of genre is called corrido tumbados, and it's kind of popular here in AZ or Phoenix, AZ, whatever, just because it's close to Mexico. Corrido tumbados, obviously, a lot of people give credit to Natanael Cano, one of like the quote unquote pioneers of that sound. And I remember hearing his music, and I was like, okay, there's something here. Because I didn't grow up with that style of music, to be honest. Like the corridos and norte, I didn't really grow up with that, but I heard it. And I just remember when Nata came out with like album of corridos tumbados or amor tumbado or something like that, or I think just an album by his name, Natanael Cano or something. He started popping off, and I heard the songs, and I was like, there's something here. Like something's kind of clicking nice here. It sounds good.
Right.
Very cohesive pieces of work that he was creating, and clearly like the youth, including myself, like anybody that even like just dabbled into a sound, was like, there's something cohesive about his ability about those guitars and about everything just like being blended into something trappy but yet like Mexican, but like
Exactly.
and so when I give it a try, I think that one was either my third or fourth corrido tumbado, and I just made it with those words because I was just like, I don't know. I was like, this shit's easy. Like this, like before that, I was trying to emulate / I was inspired by like Biggie and a bunch of like more like boom bap rappers, and like those cohesive structures in terms of words are way harder than corrido tumbados.
Well, hold on. Let me intervene in here now. So I want to know right now, who's your top 5 hip hop?
Top 5 hip hop only?
Dead or alive? Let's
hip hop only?
Yeah.
Okay. Dang. Top 5? Okay. Okay, so I think number 1, hip hop only, right? Just hip hop
only.
Okay. Dang, put me on the spot.
Yes,
right
sir.
here.
We did. We put you on the spot.
Okay. Hip hop. Ooh. I don't want to go blank here. But let me give you my top 5 artists.
All right, we can do it like
just
that.
in general, because hip hop's too
niche
fair for me. It's a little tough.
A little tough. Okay.
Yeah, but I can give you like my top 5 artists.
All right.
I think at number 1, well, I'll leave best for last. But so at number 5, I would have a number 5. So I have and one more. Who's one more? Okay. So at number 5, at number 4, I have Nirvana. Technically speaking.
Okay, Nirvana
at number 4. I think at number 5, I'd have like a Spanish group called Héroes del Silencio.
Okay.
Or they share a spot with they share a spot with like lyricist wise for me, MF Doom, Biggie, Earl Sweatshirt. and maybe some Tupac in there, but primarily those three.
Okay, so you said Biggie,
Biggie, I think
MF Doom,
MF Doom,
do a little bit of Tupac in
a
there,
little bit of Tupac, and Earl Sweatshirt.
and Earl Sweatshirt.
Earl Sweatshirt, young Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay, the young. Okay, yeah, you know what? I can agree with that. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Earl Sweatshirt's earlier
Yeah,
things from 10 years ago.
right.
Yeah,
When he was
much,
like kid.
much better. You know,
Yeah,
Biggie is a good one too.
Biggie's a great one. I actually would say like as far as like who taught me how to write, quote unquote, inspired me was a lot of Biggie.
Okay.
But so if we have those like in the fifth, right? At fourth we'll have Nirvana. Not
Mhm.
really writers, but just some of the like best rock music in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, exactly.
At number three, I think I would put Nathanael at number three.
Now who is that?
Nathanael Cano. He is like the pioneer of like that type of sound of Arrebasando. He's
Oh,
fairly
there we
new
go.
player, but I would say he has done a really good job now at cementing who he is in terms of music, like musics of time.
Okay.
After him, Weekend.
Oh, there we go.
I think
Weekend.
yeah, Weekend is he's like a big player of, I mean, from dark R&B to like disco, right? Crazy voice. Yeah,
Do you feel like Weekend has some influences on some of the songs that you've made?
most definitely.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that. You know, with some of the songs you created, like the sound and just the whole energy into it. You know, I was like, okay, this is definitely like some Weekend kind of influence. Maybe Shay a Crew. You ever heard of him? He's from Toronto. He's from Canada.
Okay.
He's R&B, but even that sound too sounds kind of like
just in that vibe, in the
in
pocket.
that vibe. Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, no, I would say yeah. Weekend. When I first found Weekend, I actually found him. I don't know if I was going to like a cheer competition or something, but I was in a friend's car, and I think we were going back home from a cheer competition or something cheer related. And I remember somebody said, just put on Often.
Mhm.
Often was my introduction to Weekend,
Wow.
and I mean Often is a banger.
That is a banger.
That's a stupid banger.
Man, you know, I would say with the Weekend, you know, just to kind of, you know, spar with you back and forth, you know, with the Weekend. I mean, I found out about him with his trilogy album,
Oh really?
actually. And then I found out a little bit later after that those albums were actually released individually before that. And so
Yeah.
the fact that I discovered him when he put the whole trilogy together and I got to listen to the whole thing, because I was wondering, like, I mean, all of the songs were great. It was so hard to skip them. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't skip them, really. They all had, like, a story. They're all tied together. I mean, you know, he had, like you said, Glass Table. That's, like, a huge banger. Often.
Bruh.
I mean, what is the one called? Wicked Ways or something?
Wicked Games.
Wicked Games. Oh,
Slappers.
okay.
Back to back. Honestly, yeah.
Thursday. There's one song called Valerie. Oh,
Thursday,
Montreal.
Montreal. Such it's crazy, right? Because it's like such different vibes, but yet so like just their own.
Yeah, they all just stood out, like, you know, for me individually, and it just took you down a journey. And if you was going through some pain, like, wow, like that was like the one, especially like relationship pain, you know, you know, like heartbreak, any of that, you know. But like just his whole like voice and sound, the production.
Production's crazy on that album. Shout out El
The
Angelo.
Who did that one?
I don't know if he did everything, but from what I know, I think as far as House of Balloons, which was like the cover or something, House of Balloons part either 1 or 2, something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Something House of Balloons. From what I understand, El Angelo had a lot to do with mixing and production.
That's so dope.
Yeah, that's his guy.
That's incredible, man. You know, what if, like, as far as your journey as an artist and some of the things you had to go through, like, what are some of the things you had to go through? And, like, what advice would you give any of us, you know, especially people of color out here trying to tap into the music industry, some of the things we got to face?
Yeah, so actually that leads me perfectly into my number one spot. So I think my number one artist for me, someone that like really unlocked it for me, you know, rest in peace, he already passed away, but it was XXX Tentacion.
Okay.
And the
Oh
reason,
wow.
yeah,
Okay. Is it Triple X, right? Extension.
Triple X
Yeah.
Tentacion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Got it. Yeah. That kid. Yeah. That really sucks. That story.
yeah. I mean, to die before, to pass away before the legal age of drinking due to like gun violence, whatever the case may be, whoever you are. I mean, that's just, it's tragedy regardless, because it's still a human life at the end of the day, you know.
Right.
And the reason I kind of bring that into the conversation, especially as someone who he was, right, like person of color and stuff. For me, he unlocked it because for the first time I had seen someone a bit older than me, but relatively close to my age, kind of like really start breaking the boundaries of like, I think what being a musician was.
Right.
Because for the first time I saw, and this is something I also saw kind of with The Weeknd, and I've seen it with other artists, but like he really kind of put a light on it, was the ability to just be so versatile. And you know, if you like, if you're a real X fan, you'll know that like homie had like boom bap raps on some crazy like a high level boom bap raps, right? Like from Your Riot to Rare Part 2, which is like super kind of SoundCloud low key vibes.
Right.
But then you could go all the way to like Look at Me and like all these different like rock sounds. Elephant in the Room is like, for me, is that one's such a, it's a super low key song, but I think I had that as my ringtone, kid you not, like 2-3 years straight.
Okay.
And I had to manually do it on my computer because that song is so like, it's not even like produced well, you would say, or anything, but it's just so raw, and yet it's so cohesive in its own story. And for him, or yeah, I have him number one because he was the one that unlocked it for me, as far as like, you don't have to stay in a box, and you can branch out and expand your sound. And I would say that that's the advice I would give myself and to anybody that faces that adversity, right? Because as we all are trying to quote unquote get up or move up in life, I don't want to say there's gatekeepers no more because of the internet. Technically speaking, there kind of can be sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you still got to go out and find it on your own versus getting it from the main source that we should be getting it from.
Exactly. So there's some level of gatekeeping, but it's not as prominent because of the internet, because of social, TikTok, Instagram, all these different things. The algorithm has changed, and it has allowed people to explode out of nowhere.
Right.
And so I think a big thing that I even try to tell myself is to, and this is actually something I was telling myself a few days ago, like I have to lean into my strengths. And this is something I remember hearing a lot from Gary Vee. I don't know if you know who he is, but
okay, I'm familiar with that name.
Yep. Yeah. So Gary Vee kind of also said like, you know, like everybody has strengths and everybody has weaknesses, but I would say you want to lean into your strengths because they're your strengths. Like it's what you're good at. Why not like lean into that? Why not use it? Right.
Right.
It doesn't mean ignore your weaknesses, especially for me. Like I consider myself in a sense a perfectionist, and I want to be. I don't want to have weaknesses, right? But in the realistic world where you can't perfectionize everything about yourself or about anything in general, I think leaning into your strengths is one way of defining yourself. And when that adversity comes your way, you have the ability to defend yourself with whatever it is that you've crafted, around yourself. So it's kind of my best advice, because I feel like in a sense everybody faces adversity. I know people of color, obviously, like there's something that happens in the US a lot, and we hear a lot about it, we see a lot about it. Mexicans, illegal immigrants, you know, like there's these like, you know, pressures around those, you know, around being in one of those cultures, maybe you could say.
Stereotypes. Let's just be honest, man.
Yeah,
hey, this is Kids podcast, my man.
No, for sure. I just couldn't find the words, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, stereotypes are 100% real, and I mean, even as someone who, you know, as a Latino, I know I'm not the darkest, but I'm not the lightest. I feel like I'm, in the medium. There was still some ink in the printer type stuff. But in theory, like I myself have, not in theory, I myself have also faced it. Like I've actually, and I don't want to speak on something that I could be wrong on, but I feel like on one of my shows, like my race did kind of, whether consciously or subconsciously, make it so like the person that was supposed to like set up our sound, so for our performance, I feel like he didn't want to. I feel like he was against it in some form of way.
Some form of a degree of sabotage.
Yeah, or some form of like, unwillingness to help due to
reluctant,
racism, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And it's funny because my stepdad had, for some reason, it's almost like he called it / jinxed it. For some reason, he's like, because he's been playing a lot of drums throughout his life, and he's like, sometimes you'll just have that one person, and it's, technically a sound engineer who, he connects you and blah, blah, but sometimes you'll just have one of those that he, for some reason, he's just mean or quote unquote an a-hole, whatever.
Exactly.
And
just doesn't want to be supportive. At all.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're cooked. And he kept saying that throughout, like leading up to that day. And sure, coming enough, that day comes, and I was like, what's going on here? Like,
right.
Did I do something? Did I say something? Like, am I tripping? Because even when I shake his hand, right? Like, I always try to like talk to everybody and, like present myself,
sure.
Greet everybody, say, hi, my name is such and such, blah, blah, thank you for helping me. This is what I need help with, whatever the case is. I remember when I shook his hand, he kind of gave me like just the tips of his hand in a very like little bro type way. Like he like in Spanish, I call it like, él me vio como un chamaco mocoso, like, ¿qué estás haciendo aquí? O sea, ¿por qué te voy a dar? Meaning like, he kind of saw me as like, oh, this little kid, like, the fuck? Like, just a little kid wasting my time type shit. Let me just play him in.
Yeah, and get it over with. Yeah, you see, that's just pretty jacked up. But that's the stuff you got to face out here.
Yeah.
Especially, like, trying to book a show or something like that and things like that. So it ain't easy, but I like the fact that you're continuing to just build and press on. Are there any like future products? Not future products, my bad. Any future projects that that you're thinking about maybe working on?
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah. No, I not even thinking. I'm actively working to release a lot of stuff for myself, because there's music that I do make for myself, and in a sense all of it is for myself, but it is also for those people that listen to me, the people that I enjoy my music, the people that support it, such as yourself or anybody that like finds a song that like really speaks to them. Right. So I feel like when you find a song that like really like hits you in that like area of your life at the time of your life when you really need it, makes such an impact that you'll remember it forever. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I have a lot of stuff in the works, and I feel like that's one of the biggest things that like led me into starting to play guitar, because I picked it up about like solid year ago, I would say, maybe a few weeks, like, but I can confidently say that I got a year of like consistent practice and like build a habit and said, discipline, I need to get better at this. Right. Because music's like a language, and so when you can the better you can speak it, like the more fluent you're gonna sound.
Right.
Which is why like any musician out there that truly values like what music is and the passion that it can be, pick an instrument, bro. Like, and the beauty about music too is like you can pick any instrument. You can pick.
Hey, Andre 3 Stacks did with that doggone flute,
bruh.
That flute album,
bruh. I'm
telling you,
he
like,
bet
on himself, and that's the most important part. No, not even throwing a shade. He did. He bet on himself, and he put it out, because music is not always necessarily vocal; it's instrumental.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about it. Like, there, in a sense, there's music theory, but their music has no rules. You could pick a piano and like play however you want, and if it flows into what you need it to flow into, it's like slang, right? Like I could get a dictionary in English and like probably learn so many words from it, right? an unfathomable amount of words, right?
Right.
But like, I could also just be like on some type shit, and now it's like, what do you mean with that? What is that? What
Yeah.
type shit? And it's like, well, now you're speaking slang. Now it's not quote unquote proper, but it's still, you're still communicating. You're still like having a conversation with someone, and that slang. I love slang, by the way.
Right.
I don't know if you knew this about me. I might have said this before. I love slang.
Okay.
I like speaking proper, but I like
using slang
using
words.
slang as much as I can, and I don't even do it purposely. Sometimes I just be doing it because it's fun,
Natural. Yeah.
natural. I'm just on that vibe. I'm just on that train. That's why you hear me say that. That type vibe,
Okay.
type sound. You know, because I don't know. It's just a way of expressing myself, so like relaxed. Maybe I think music's the same way. You could learn piano, learn music theory, and you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Right.
There are pros to both sides. But I feel like a good music or a good musician or you know, like, you don't have to abide by all the rules on paper to make a great painting. You could just flow sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, you could just
Free-minded.
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 You know, like,
Yeah.
sometimes Biggie would do it in his words. Like, it doesn't have to be a forever running sentence with periods and commas where they have to be. Sometimes there's a play on words, and you know, like one word can share two sentences because it's like it's the glue, but it's also a transition into the next rhyme scheme, and then, you know, the punchline here, and then the hooks, and it's like you get to have fun. You get to put that shit however you want, and that is like the beauty about music.
That is sick, bro.
Yeah,
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I see you brought your guitar today.
I did bring my
Guitar Hero ass.
Guitar Hero head ass boy. I actually suck at Guitar Hero. You know that?
Hey, me too, man. Listen. Yeah, I used to play with my friend Raquel, boy. That mug would be tearing me up, boy. Like, just all kind of like rhythms. I'm like, man, I can't do that. That thing is too quick, boy. I can't mess with it.
With all the fucking colors and shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I listen. Hats off to people who can do Guitar Hero and stuff like that. But nah, man, I wish I could do that, man. It'd be really cool.
It's vibes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what you gonna play for us today?
All right, so today I can play one song for sure that I actually have already released. It's called "Just a Taste." It's actually my first song that I ever made on the guitar.
Okay.
It's a bit. I'll let you kind of like see where the inspiration came from. Maybe someone will kind of guess it. But there's a song that I learned that was fairly easy. That I was like, it was like some of the easiest chords to learn, and I was like, fuck it, let me try to make a song. Boom, you know.
Right.
And then maybe I think I have another song that I could also play, and
Oh.
that one's more a little bit in the same vibe, but a little bit more like not difficult, but it's more advanced. It's newer. It's a newer song after like I've gained more skill and stuff. So
Hey, as we used to say in the church, an A and B selection, okay?
A and B selection, you already know.
Yeah, we'll be
So.
back after this commercial break, and we're gonna have my guy here, Lexaladar, play us
I got you.
some new songs.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just chilling in my room with an AirPod in my ear. Unable to disturb if I'm never really here. Cool little drive when I put it into gear. Don't bother cause I don't wanna hear no ruckus drama. A little kid who cries, laying on the floor with a shawty in her thighs. Stay warm, small dorm, feeling like a college. Studying her math if that's what you wanna call it. And she's been feeling my sound. She's been feeling my...
Okay, so just a taste. This is my first song I ever made on the guitar. Was it this guitar? No, I don't even remember if it was this guitar. The song is on all platforms, called "Just a Taste." I did make it at Soundmind Studios here in Arizona, and yeah, it's mixed, I guess, composed, written, mixed, mastered by me. Just recorded at Soundmind. Shout out Soundmind. Shout out Velvet Cash.
Right.
Ready? It'll sound like this. waste. I need your love, I need a play. Don't tell me that it's all a waste. Our time is young and now's the day. Let's both let go of the feeling of control, for nobody will know. I'll take you 3 women with me, all 4 of us in summer flow. So give me just a taste. This feeling's not a face. Let's get it out the way. It's what our bodies say. And face this hunger with me, girl. I'll bring the feast so we can eat. Don't ask me why I feel this way, for I'm a man and it's part of me.
Wonderful. That is that vibe. Okay.
Type vibe.
I got my imaginary guitar over here.
Yes, sir. Algo leve. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Just a taste. First song I ever made. I guess it kind of came from a song that goes something like this. I won't tell you what the name is, just to see if anybody could guess what song this is. I think it was. That's all you get.
All right.
Just that little stroke is. I'll see if anybody can guess what song that is.
All right.
And then another song that I have. This one's called Imaginándote, I believe. I just made it about, I think, a week ago.
Okay.
About a week ago. Here we go. So, but yeah, it's called Imaginándote. Just came out of. There's a story to this. I guess the story is like the lyrics kind of have like a play on like my life a little bit, and just like emotions and feelings that I was feeling at the time, and if it resonates with you, and you know, it makes you think about like that headspace of what the words like can mean or what they mean to you. It's whatever story you decided to pick to it, you know. That one goes like this. Let's see. Hoy yo me levanté sabiendo que yo te necesito más. Yo no sé por qué, porque la realidad se siente que nos trae como un imán, imaginándote. Entre la Navidad a evolucionar. Lo que realmente soy, resolviendo estoy dentro de mí todo lo que a mí me fallan, las buenas y las malas. Siguiendo perfección es la única acción. Y hoy nos toca disfrutar lo que el momento trae, el que no quede más, no vuelta para atrás. Y hoy me levanté sabiendo que yo te necesito más, imaginándote. El puro Lexaladar para que no se les olvide, compa. Yeah. Thank you. Imaginándote coming soon to all platforms.
Oh, man, and y'all just hear all that goodness. Oh, my gosh. You know what I'm saying? That was really dope and explosive. Now, so far, where can everybody follow you as far as, like, social media?
Thank you. Yeah. Social media, Lexaladar, everywhere. All platforms, really.
And that's going to be Lexaladar.
Yeah, Lexaladar, Lexaladar. En todas las plataformas. I mean, if TikTok's still up, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I think YouTube too, even. But again, you might also be able to find me as Edson Garcia on all platforms. And then for my jiu-jitsu fans out there too, if you want to see me compete, I am gonna be on those mats the 26th of this month on a Sunday. Not a competition at Victorium Scottsdale. I like the martial arts that jiu-jitsu entails, and if you want to catch a vibe there, you'll see me there locking in that as well. So, yes,
That's freaking wonderful. In outro, what would you like to say to the Hispanic community as well?
An outro for the Hispanic community. Pónganse pilas. No. For the Hispanic community, I think the biggest thing I want to say is, even just for everybody, but I'll say this in Spanish, I guess, since it's my native tongue.
Yes, sir.
Cuando tú tienes un sueño, tú tienes que perseguirlo y te va a costar mucho, especialmente si el sueño es ambicioso, es grande, pero te tienes que esforzar y te tienes que disciplinar y tienes que dar todo por ese sueño, porque así como uno lo piensa a veces, en realidad no se sabe si se te va a dar la oportunidad otra vez de vivir la vida. Entonces, lo que tú pienses, lo que tú te imagines y lo que tú sientas que quieres lograr en este mundo, lo tienes que hacer y lo tienes que proteger, porque hay gente que no va a querer que logres ese sueño y a veces tú propiamente te vas a querer traicionar, y es tu responsabilidad disciplinarte y poder meterle todas las ganas y todo el esfuerzo y todo el sacrificio que se requiera para lograr ese sueño y para llegar a la cima. Se va a tomar mucho esfuerzo, mucho empeño y mucha fuerza, pero ya sea con la bendición de tu familia, de Dios o en lo que tú creas, todo se puede lograr, todo se puede hacer y todo a su tiempo. So, un día a la vez, sigan echando ganas, sigan metiendo esfuerzo, empeño, disciplina y se les va a venir todo lo que ustedes desean. Y yo soy testigo. Un día los veo en la cima. Gracias.
Comes through.
Yes, sir.
Came with the hits with us, okay? Today came through and blessed us with his talents, everything like that. He's on all platforms, like he said. He's on Instagram as Edson Garcia. Look up his music, Lexaladar, and go and explore. It is a really cool joy and journey, and I feel like everyone can relate to it. Even if you don't speak Spanish, at least give the effort and try. You know what I mean? And just feel the vibe and feel the music, feel the beats, feel the energy in all of these songs that Lex has created for us and created for the world. But we thank you for coming out to the podcast, my guy.
Thank you. I
appreciate you
it.
taking your time out.
I appreciate you having me, man. What you're doing here I think is something special. I think, there are a lot of people that are going to be very appreciative of, you giving them their platform or giving them a platform to speak their truth and show their talents. And, you yourself, just keep at it, man, because anything that you do in this life, you just have to discipline yourselves to take it to the top. So I appreciate it greatly.
I appreciate that, too. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us in the Kizza podcast. We appreciate y'all. No doubt. Thanks for showing love to the show. Check it out. And remember to follow my guy here, Lexaladar. Check out the music. Let us know the feedback.
Yes, sir. Follow the podcast. Follow the vibes. Lexaladar, Kizza. You already know.
Yep, y'all follow me, Kizza Podcast. That'll be my Instagram handle there, so follow that as well. I'm going to be uploading some content soon. KZA Podcast. KZA Podcast, y'all. All right. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace out.
Have a good one.
Peace.